At 5:30 a.m., that river gauge was at 23 feet. It is approaching 26 feet.
Each of these areas well over 4 inches of rain in the past 24 hours.
As I say, the only way to get through town today was by boat.
This is totally amazing. I am just in awe of the whole thing.
These rivers are going to do what they're going to do, and we're not going to get in their way.
We have people here who showed up last night to start filling sandbags.
It's just an amazing thing to see as the wild winter of '96 continues.
The winter of 1996 has certainly been a memorable one for the people of Woodland, Washington, and in dozens of communities throughout the Northwest. Some of those memories have been painful. It started with a snowstorm back in January. That was followed by the bitter cold and then the ice. And just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, they did.
The Nehalem River in the north part of Tillamook County, as we left the county 11.5 feet above flood stage, 11.5 feet over its banks. And the roads in that place just absolutely terrible. Couldn't take 26, couldn't take 6, couldn't take 22, just kept having to come south.
We are looking down at some container yards right now, some of the containers underwater. In fact, you can see right down there, Carl, if you can move down, that is a truck. Now move off to the side, the other side if you can, Carl. Right there is a truck trying to make its way through a flooded roadway. Yeah, you've hit it on the head there, Carl. That truck is inching its way through. It looks like to me the water is up to the tops of the tires there. And as you know, on a semi-truck, the tires are a good 3-4 feet tall. So that truck is attempting right now to move through 3 or 4 feet of water over here in the Portland shipyards.
Here in the Willamette, it's above flood stage right now, and what happened was it broke loose 7 or 9 log rafts. Now, what that means to people who are not familiar with what is involved in a log raft, we're talking about between 700 and 800 log trucks worth of logs floating down the Willamette, just barreling down out of control. Now, that was happening earlier today. All of these tugboats have been able to corral these logs. There are some that are further up north down the river. They had to open all of the drawbridges because they were concerned that some of these log rafts, log bundles might crash into some of the supports of the bridges, and they didn't want any cars on those bridges at the time when that happened. There's probably about $1 million worth of logs that kind of loosed and set loose down the Willamette today.
Rescuers tried to shoot a line across perhaps 50 yards or so of space to this bus to try and get them and some other fire rescue personnel that were also stranded on the bus. That was unsuccessful. They waited until first light and then tried to use a boat to go and get this family off of the bus. That happened just a little bit ago. Then, I'm told just moments ago, the 3 fire rescue personnel who were stranded there earlier were taken off of that bus by a Coast Guard helicopter that had come out of Newport in order to finish the rescue. This was, according to Lieutenant Feller from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the largest rescue effort he has ever seen.
These should normally be streets, not rivers, not canals, but streets. The entire town, the entire main residential core of Woodland, Washington is underwater today because of the high waters on the Lewis River. Take a look. The pictures speak much louder than my words ever could to the degree of problems that the people here are having. Not too far from here, they are sandbagging, a furious sandbagging effort, by far the biggest we've seen, but apparently for most of these people, it is far too little and far too late. A car there submerged, partially submerged underwater. There, an entire neighborhood, what looks like it would normally be a cul-de-sac, is now just a circle of water, basically.
It's breaking through my front door, and I'm in 2 foot of water to have to drive out of my driveway. We're right above driveway right here into the house, and there's about a 4-foot drop into this house. This is the master bedroom here, this first window. And this second one is the bathroom and the back door, and then into the kitchen. And it's been up, as you see, it's been up within, a little over a foot from the eave. So it wasn't a fun trip. We almost couldn't get out of here. We're in about, Oh, 4-foot drop here, 4-foot hole. This is my pickup.
How many feet of water you got in here?
Right here, that must be about, that's probably around 5 feet maybe, something like just under 5 feet. This rig was setting plumb sideways, parallel with the street. This was pretty scary. I mean, like I said, me and Wendy got out of here with just our clothes on her back and her 2 dogs and the pickup.
This is the bathroom down here in the basement of Gene Harvey's condominium. This is his flooded condominium. Last night they got smart. They decided to move all their stuff up out of the basement. They were able to do that before the floodwaters came. And as you can see over here, take a look at this. This is about as close of a glass bottom view of the Columbia River as you're going to get. This is the Columbia River. It is up this high, and it is expected to come up a little higher. You can see the incredible, just take a look out here real quick for a second. You can see how high it has come up. It's hard to think right now because we got down here and my waders are filling up with water right now. I weigh about 400 pounds, I think.
This is Battle Creek in southeast Salem. For the past 2 days, it has been waging war against this neighborhood here. We're standing on Packwood Court. And actually, believe it or not, the water level is actually down from the way it was. Kids are now able to come out into the middle of Packwood Court and play and bring their inner tubes. But this is no game for the homeowners here. You can see over here, the guy that owns this house has sandbagged it all the way up to about 2.5 feet in an effort to keep the water from getting into his garage. We walk over a bit more this way, and he has put a plywood barrier to do the same thing to try and keep the water out. We'll go over and talk to him here because he's continuing to work on it here. How's the battle going today?
It's going better than it was yesterday anyway.
What kind of damage have you had in the house?
The house hasn't been too bad, but all the sill plates and stuff are broken in the garage and it leaks, and it washed my deck away in the back, so most of that and all the contents in the garage.
It was a beautiful day on the Pacific coast, but the pictures tell a dark tale. Muddy floodwaters swallowing up land, dairy cows, and homes. Nehalem, Wheeler, and Tillamook were all hit hard. This is the Nehalem River in the middle, but as we widen out, you can see it looks more like a huge lake. The U.S. Coast Guard lifted Tillamook County Sheriff Bill Hudgen through the county to survey the damage. More than 24,000 dairy cows are in the coastal area, and it's believed more than 1,000 have died.
Well, I've lived here in Tillamook County for 53 years, and this is the worst I've seen, and we've definitely got a lot of damage, and our farmers have really sustained a lot of loss with their livestock.
Even restaurants, businesses, and a grocery store in Tillamook were surrounded by water. The Coast Guard was also nice enough to let us ride along to see them in action. They're always on the lookout for someone in need. It's times like these where everyone comes together. Sheriff Hudgens says the morale is good in Tillamook County.
They're kind of unique and they're in their way, and we're going to pull through this okay.
This is what is happening. You can see these volunteers, maybe these co-workers, literally lining up the sandbags in the basement floor. They are protecting electrical equipment down inside of the basement of OMSI. It is a line, as you can clearly see, all the way upstairs, outside this door, coming inside now to protect this valuable and important and sometimes dangerous equipment. It is electrical equipment that carries a power base for this building.
We're cruising south on Washington Street in downtown Oregon City right now. Marco, what do you see here exactly?
Lots of water.
Now, you own a business just up here.
Yes, I do.
And how's it looking?
About 6 feet underwater right at this time.
Have you seen it before, or any time before like this?
In '64, I was 14, and I went through it once before. The water doesn't look as high, but it's still devastating.
Just behind me here is a gentleman who owns the Coney Island, the tavern there, the Orange Tavern on the right. What do we have here, sir, exactly?
Well, it's about 6.5 to 7 foot underwater, and it's a mess. I can tell you, I'm sick.
I see right now the traffic lights are not working. They were working earlier.
Yeah, they were. Traffic lights were working earlier. The lights in my building were on this morning at 11 too.
What is this business, gentlemen, we're seeing right here on the right?
Detail shop.
On the right's a detail shop?
What is this business over here, Tim? What is this we have over here on the right?
That's a furniture store, and you got Trails Inn Pizza and a dress shop.
And we got a grocery store, the shop and save over there, huh? What does that look inside there?
It's they got it empty, but it's full of water. It's what they left is floating.
Does this fellow in the pickup need sandbags right here?
This is the current crisis neighborhood in Tualatin, Apache Bluffs. We're on Cheyenne Way right now, where many of the homes are halfway underwater. The people right now frantically trying to save what's left. In order to do that, they are using boats, canoes, even a little red wagon to transport 50-pound sandbags.
We're pretty scared. We don't want our neighbors to lose their houses or anything in them. So we're trying real hard to just get it taken care of.
One home is already lost.
And a big 8-foot section came down. Their house is flooded now.
Those next to it remain borderline.
My heart's pounding. This is something I've never been through, and it's frightening.
With a 1% chance of a 100-year flood in this area, Phil Cook decided not to buy flood insurance.
We might make it.
We're behind Oaks Park now, and what you see behind me is a row of houseboats, and the only way people are getting around here is by boat. You see this young man here coming and bringing us a boat. Hopefully they'll be able to take us over to those houses, and we'll see what the concerns are of the people living here. The piers right now are floating above what is normally their shoreline, and I'm sure these people are having to take measures to make sure that their boats survive the flood of 1996.
At the east end of Lake Oswego, a spectacular waterfall cascades over the dam and down a 40-foot embankment. It is an awesome display of power that looks more like the Niagara Falls than Lake Oswego, Oregon. The situation here is out of control. The lake normally drains here in a peaceful manner, but now so much water is coming in, it is spilling right over the top of the dam and to the sides. It is undercutting the ground this gas tank sits on. There are 400 gallons of gasoline inside. The water is also flooding an entire apartment complex next door.
It's just frightening, interesting, exciting, but mostly frightening.
Downtown, the water has flooded the Lake Theater and several other buildings. In the middle of State Street, you can see what happened. Lake Oswego simply flowed over the walls and right into downtown, and now it is at least knee-deep for about a 2-block area. The mayor says 4 times as much water is flowing into the lake than can be dumped. And across the lake, you can see evidence of it. Homes have water piling up to the windows. The view is similar inside a home on the canal feeding the lake. And under one of the bridges, the remains of a boat, a dock, and a boathouse. There is simply too much water pouring in here for anyone to control.
And we are moving in now to that Salmon Street Springs area, and you can see the amphitheater. No place that you would...
From Sky 8, you see the underwater amphitheater at Salmon Street Springs. The aerial view hides the frenetic activity to save Waterfront Park in the bottom of downtown.
I believe that is Oaks Park down below us now. And as any of you know who have been...
Another popular outdoor spot is also submerged. The rides at Oaks Park near the Selwood Bridge look like umbrellas floating downstream.
Those are the McCormick Pier apartments. Shannon Brenius brought us a report from there. As you can see,
in northwest Portland, the Willamette is infringing dangerously on the McCormick Pier apartments. That blue square down there is a gazebo. No picnics today. At condominiums on southwest Portland's Sam Jackson Parkway, the danger didn't come from floodwaters, but slides. Pounding rain loosened the hillside. It came crashing down into the back of the buildings.
There it is, about square in the middle of your screen. Our photographer, Carl Peterson, zooming into it right now.
The hillside also slid onto Interstate 5 southbound, just shy of the Terwilliger curves.
This hillside, it is still coming down. We are here, Interstate 5, believe it or not, that is the northbound lane. We are just north of Woodland. I don't know if you can hear or not. This hillside is still coming down. It has covered all lanes here. We are told, and it is unofficial at this point, but we do believe that there may be at least one, if not more, possibly 2 cars up under that pile. One car that is left here Man who got out of that car, he told authorities that he believed at least 2 vehicles still up under that pile.
I heard something. I couldn't figure out what I heard, and I went and looked out the back window because I heard this noise, and then I could see it coming.
But she would then have to watch her animals fight their own battle. This mare, belly high in mud, would struggle until Carol's 70-year-old husband Hirsch braved knee-high mud and rocks to save her and another horse. Then it was onto his home. He'd break through a picture window to save the family dog.
My wife heard it. She went into the kitchen, she could see it coming. And then I saw it and I said, let's get the hell out of here. Oh, you gotta call them like you see them. That's the way you do it.
We're happy to report tonight all are doing well, including Pooch.
Of course, the damage from high water only tells half the story of the Great Flood of 1996. A week of rain triggered scores of mudslides all over our area.
Wow, look at it, it's coming down the hill here.
Go! Mudslides like the one captured on home video wrecked cars, homes, and blocked roads all over the Northwest. A bit later, for the first time ever, you'll see this tape in its entirety.
Get in the back of my truck! Get in the back of my truck!
We'll return to the Great Flood of '96 right after this.